Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we will see what is classes and what are the benefits that will give us in working with C Sharp. Okay, so right here, I'm inside Visual Studio, inside our own project. Okay, now a class, it's like a container for your code. Okay, a bigger container than just a method. Okay, a method will be just like inside its own class. Okay, but like let's say we wanna create a new class, or let's say we wanna create a way that we can do all the mathematical operations, okay, and use these mathematical operation not only just in this class right here, not just like adding it as a method, but instead in the entire project we have right here. Okay, so a class, it's like a bigger container, you can call it and define it and reuse it in many different ways. Okay, so now let's add a new class. I'm gonna hit right click and select add, and then select right here a class. Okay, I'm gonna call it math class. Okay, so now right here I have added it, the new class. Okay, now after that, notice with me that the class right here, we need to say its name, say it, call in this reserved word. Okay, then give it its name. Okay, now just one thing before we continue. Now, in order to allow other classes to see this class, okay, and be visible to it, we need to add an access modifier of public, so it's become visible to all. Okay, so make sure you do that now. So what we can do inside this class right here, okay, we can define methods and variables, okay, that we can, let's say, reuse inside this class with other classes. So let's say that I want the x variable, okay, and I also want the y variable. Okay, now what we want to do, this is a math class, so we wanna add the four mathematical operation. Let's call in the public void, oh I'm sorry, public integer, let's call it sum. Okay, and inside the sum we will return x plus y. Okay, I'm gonna just add the three other methods. Okay, now we need we need to add subtract, so let's do that. We need multiply, so let's do that also, and let's call in the divide. Okay, so here we go, we have all the mathematical operation that we need. Okay, so now how we can use this class with other classes and work with it. Okay, now let me just go down here. Now I will call in, I will actually create a method right here. It will have a void return type, it will not return anything. I'm gonna call it math operation. Okay, now inside this math operation we just need some parentheses right here. Okay, now inside this math operation we wanna call the math class. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's go down back here. Now we will need to create an object of the math class. So how we can do that? Let's call in the math class, and notice it's a class, and let's call math. The object of type math class is just like we're defining a variable. Okay, and we call in the new keyword. Okay, now the new keyword will create a new instance of math class. All right, so now with the math, we can object, we can call in the four operation. Notice with me that we have them right here, the divide, multiply, sum, subtract. Okay, let's call in the sum. Okay, now since we defined early the x and y, what we wanna do, we're gonna need to call in the math dot x. Okay, and let's call it 5. Let's call it the math dot y. Let's give it 10. Okay, and we will call in the sum. Okay, now if we call this operation, we will get the value of x and y, and it will be summed together. Okay, now this is not the most efficient way of doing this. Okay, what we can do actually, let's just go back. If I go to this method right here, I want to define the x and the y. Okay, now instead of just like calling the object and specifying this, it will be like a parameter. Okay, let's do that for the entire functions. Okay, now we will need to remove these. Here we go. Okay, so now we have the sum here, and it says we have an error, so we need to pass in some value. All right, now we wanna like print this output in the console. So how we can do that? Let's first thing first return this. Now of course what we need to change the return type right here. Okay, and we need to call in the math operation function over here. Okay, now notice that we have an error because this is not static. So let's do that. Let's make it static, and our error is gone. Okay, so let's do a run, just a quick run, and notice that we have 15 since we passed in 5 and 10 for x and y. So as you notice, while with using classes, okay, we can define the methods, okay, and call them in other classes and work with them, which is like save us a lot of time instead of just writing the same code again and again. Okay, or just like creating a method or a function inside the same class and copy it and paste it like in other classes. We can just simply create this class right here, define the methods functions we need, and then just create a new object of that class and call in the appropriate method we want. Okay, now before we finish up, there is something I want to show you. It's called the constructor. Now the constructor, just define it. Now the constructor, as you notice, it's like defining a function or a method, but without the void, okay, or the return type. Okay, the constructor, you can use it to initialize some value. Let's say like we have right here public int x, okay, and it has a 0 value. Okay, now what we want to do, we wanna go ahead and say xx, and let's call in x equal xx. Okay, now notice with me, when we create a new object of this class, we will need to pass in the default value for x. Okay, if I go back right here, notice we have an error right here. Okay, because we need to match in the constructor call right here, so we need to by default initialize the x value. All right, so the constructor, you can use it to, let's say, do some initializing for some values you have inside your class. So I hope you enjoy and find this lecture useful.